Prepare to be amazed as we explore the fascinating world of Soviet engineering. In this video, we'll uncover the most mind-blowing and unconventional machines that emerged from the Soviet era. From bizarre inventions to incredible feats of engineering, these Soviet machines are sure to leave you in awe. Let's explore the craziest creations you won't believe exist. The 2B1 OK. A Cold War-era marvel, the 2B1 OK nuclear supergun marked the apex of strategic thinking during the arms race. Conceived in the mid-1950s on a T-10 tank chassis, this weapon boasted a 420mm cannon with a 45-kilometer range and the ability to unleash 12 rounds per hour. Fueled by the assumption that a European war would involve nuclear rather than conventional arms, it symbolized the era's tactical nuclear focus. Although theoretically capable of continuous fire, with 750 kilograms nuclear warheads, Soviet doctrine limited it to a single shot. Debuting in 1957, skepticism arose due to poor maneuverability and maintenance challenges. Despite being more of a propaganda piece than a practical weapon, 6 were tested. Evolving nuclear doctrines and the ascendancy of ballistic missiles rendered the 2B1 OK obsolete. Today, the Russian Artillery Museum in St. Petersburg proudly displays the sole surviving 2B1 OK, the 1K-17 Shati, a Soviet self-propelled laser vehicle mounted on an MSTAS chassis. Developed during the 1970s and 1980s to neutralize enemy missiles and vehicles' optical electronic equipment, it used laser projectors in the turret. Despite Soviet attempts to keep it secret, Western intelligence codenamed Stiletto obtained plans. The collapse of the Soviet Union led to the abandonment of Shati's development due to the high cost of the laser system. Only 2 were tested, one scrapped and the other displayed without its laser projector. The laser, powered by a generator and auxiliary battery, disabled enemy optics through focused light on 30 kilograms of artificial rubies. Equipped with a 12.7mm NSV machine gun, Shati also featured a folklore tale in Romania, claiming Nicolae Ceausescu used laser weapons in 1968 against Russian tanks, though evidence is lacking. The Zveno Project. Vladimir Vakhmistrov's Zveno project, initiated in the 1970s and 1980s by the Soviet Union, transformed outdated bombers into airborne aircraft carriers to counter the Nazi aerial threat. Facing skepticism from superiors, Vakhmistrov's visionary concept involved bombers ferrying additional fighters into combat, known as Vakhmistrov's Circus. The Zveno idea, dating back to the mid-1920s, modified bombers with docking brackets to create a platform capable of carrying multiple fighters. Despite setbacks, Zveno 3 achieved mid-air docking success in 1931, and subsequent versions explored streamlined configurations. During World War II, Zveno played a crucial role, executing successful raids in 1941 to impede the German advance. However, evolving wartime dynamics led to its decommissioning in 1942. The Zveno project's legacy endured, inspiring experiments globally, including the McDonnell XF-85 Goblin. Although practical use waned, it remains a symbol of audacious innovation in early aviation, highlighting the ever-evolving potential in aerospace and military capabilities. The Antonov A-40. The A-40 Krylya Tanka, meaning tank wings in Russian, was a Soviet experiment in 1942 to airdrop tanks onto battlefields. Instead of traditional gliders, designer Oleg Antonov modified a T-60 light tank with detachable wooden biplane wings and a twin tail, aiming for a quick deployment after gliding. The tank's armament, ammunition, and headlights were removed, and it was intended to be towed by a PE-8 or a TB-3 bomber. However, during its only flight on September 2, 1942, the TB-3 had to ditch the glider due to extreme drag, even though the tank reportedly glided smoothly. The A-40 project was abandoned as there was no powerful enough aircraft to tow it at the required speed of 160 kilometers per hour. Despite its unworkable outcome, the A-40 represented a bold Soviet attempt to innovate tank deployment in airborne operations. The MiL Mi-10. A Soviet marvel, the Mil-Mi-10 helicopter emerged in the late 1950s as a military transport sibling to the Mil-Mi-6. Tailored for robust lifting, it featured external cargo capability, distinguishing it from the Mi-6. The 1959 prototype retained Mi-6's engines, but had a more compact fuselage with elongated legs for cargo maneuverability. With space for 28 passengers or 6,600 pounds of cargo inside, it could carry up to 33,000 pounds externally. Showcased at national parades and foreign exhibitions, it proved its prowess during a 1965 exhibition in France. Its design evolved with the 1966 Mi-10K variant, featuring shorter legs and a pilot-operator cockpit beneath the fuselage. Despite low-speed vibrations, the Mi-10's economic impact was profound, facilitating swift, cost-effective operations, contributing to Moscow's evolving skyline, and showcasing the enduring legacy of this remarkable flying crane. The M-15 Belfagor. In response to the Soviet Union's need for an agricultural plane, Poland's WSK PZL Milek developed the M-15 Belfagor, the world's only jet-powered biplane. The unusual aircraft emerged from the Council for Mutual Economic Assistance's demand for a faster and more efficient jet-powered agricultural plane. PZL created a flying laboratory to test the feasibility of a jet engine on a biplane design, resulting in the M-15's formal development. The aircraft featured a twin-boom sesquiplane design, housing an AI-25 jet engine above the cabin, equipped for solo flying or with 2 passengers. The M-15, with a capacity of 2,900 liters for chemicals, became the world's slowest mass-produced jet, reaching 124 miles per hour. Despite ambitious plans, only 175 were built before production ceased in 1981, overshadowed by superior turboprop models. The M-15's legacy is marked by its noise and limited range, leading to its obscure fate, with few remaining in existence. The Lun-class aeronoplan. The Soviet-designed Lun-class ekranoplan, known as the Caspian Sea Monster, is a groundbreaking ground-effect craft envisioned to revolutionize cargo transportation. With a length exceeding 300 feet and a height of 130 feet, this 500-ton marvel operates just 20 feet above the surface, reaching speeds over 300 miles per hour. Initially shrouded in secrecy in Nizhny Novgorod during the Cold War, it was discovered by U.S. spy planes. Capable of carrying 50% more weight than a traditional cargo plane of its size, the ekranoplan utilizes half the fuel, showcasing its efficiency. Originally intended for military use, particularly in the Soviet Navy, these high-speed transports have since evolved for non-military purposes post-Soviet Union collapse. The futuristic potential of flight is embodied in these extraordinary and evolutionary ekranoplans. Project Ekip. The Soviet and Russian Ekip project introduces a groundbreaking aerodrome-free aircraft with a flying wing design and elliptical-shaped fuselage. Dubbed Taryelka, meaning plate or saucer in Russian, it utilizes an air cushion for water or unpaved ground landings, showcasing short takeoff and landing capabilities. Distinctive features include a vortex control system for drag reduction and a reactive system for low-speed control. The bearing wing scheme maximizes internal volume, enhancing comfort, safety, and fuel efficiency while drastically reducing operating costs. Developed by Aviation Concern Ekip, these aircraft can carry heavy loads over long distances at impressive speeds, utilizing air cushion takeoffs and landings, eliminating the need for traditional airfields. This innovative approach, supported by TSAGI's air cushion research, challenges the limitations of existing aircraft and traditional runway requirements for heavy loads. The Bartini-Beriev VVA-14. Developed in the 1970s, the Bartini-Beriev VVA-14 was a Soviet vertical takeoff amphibious aircraft designed by Robert Bartini. Engineered to lift off from water, fly at high speeds, and efficiently maneuver just above the sea surface using ground effect, its primary purpose was to combat U.S. Navy Polaris missile submarines. The first prototype flew in 1972, and subsequent tests, including inflatable pontoons replaced by rigid ones, were conducted in 1974. Designated VVA-14 M1P, it faced setbacks due to the unavailability of lift engines. After Bartini's death in 1974, the project slowed, conducting a total of 107 flights. The lone surviving VVA-14, number 19172, now resides in a dismantled state at the Russian Federation Central Air Force Museum, Menino, since its retirement in 1987. The ZVM 2901. Envision the ZVM 2901, an unconventional off-road masterpiece born from the Soviet military in the 1970s, recently restored by Russian engineers and showcased in captivating test footage. This screw-driven marvel effortlessly navigates challenging terrains, cuts through obstacles, and even floats on water, leaving one to ponder why production was halted. The history of screw-propelled vehicles, dating back to the early 20th century, gained momentum during World War II, with British inventor Geoffrey Pike and German soldier Johannes Radl's off-road prototypes hindered by poor on-road performance. Chrysler's 1960s attempts with the Marsh Screw amphibian and Riverine utility craft faced similar speed issues. The Soviet response, the formidable ZL 2906, designed for Siberian swamps, and the civilian adaptation, the Amphiroll by Joseph Jean de Backer, found use in mining. Now, spotlighting the ZVM 2901, a 1970s Soviet military creation, merging a UAZ 452 Vans cab with a screw-driven base, propelled by a 159 horsepower engine, operating on Archimedes screw principles. The recent swampy Nizhny Novgorod test underscored its unique off-road prowess. The Kalinin K7. In the interwar years, during the emergence of ambitious designs for large transports, the Kalinin K7 stood out as a colossal oddity. Between the mid-1920s and the onset of World War II, aircraft manufacturers explored unconventional creations that defied expectations of flight. Enter Konstantin Kalinin, a former Imperial Russian Air Force member turned aircraft designer. Born in 1887, he joined the Bolsheviks in 1917 and began his aviation career, conceiving successful high-wing monoplane airliners, the K4 and K5. However, his grand vision materialized in the form of the K7, an immense aircraft blending civilian and military applications. Designed in 1931 and completed by mid-1933, the K7 featured a groundbreaking twin-boom layout, massive wingspan, and an array of defensive armaments. Despite its propaganda success, its tragic last flight in 1933 marked the end of this monumental aviation endeavor, leaving behind an intriguing but enigmatic legacy. The Tsar tank. In the early 20th century, Russian engineers, including Nikolai Lebedenko, devised the Tsar tank, a colossal armored vehicle born in 1914. Departing from conventional tank designs, it featured a tricycle configuration with two massive 9-meter front wheels and a rear 1.5-meter wheel, inspired by Turkic Pavlovsky carts renowned for their terrain navigation. The tank boasted an almost 8-meter-high cannon turret and a 12-meter-wide hull accommodating additional weaponry. Despite initial tests revealing vulnerabilities and underpowered traits, Tsar Nicholas II was impressed, allocating funds for the project. However, operational challenges such as frequent entanglement during tests led to the tank's cancellation in September 1915. Forgotten amid the Russian Revolution, the Tsar tank endured rust in a forest until its eventual dismantling in 1923. MAZ 535 truck. At present, the Minsk automobile plant is not involved in heavy small-scale equipment development. This domain has long been the purview of the Minsk wheel tractor plant. However, MAZ initially received the decree for artillery tractor production in 1954, per the USSR Council of Ministers directive. Initially focused on wheeled artillery tractors, MAZ later expanded its expertise to missile and tank carriers. In July 1954, Secret Order No. 15cc established the Special Design Bureau SKB-1, led by Boris L. Shaposhnik, an experienced automobile designer. Despite being the industry's youngest enterprise in 1954, MAZ received a significant order for strategic equipment. The SKB-1, tasked by the main customer, developed the MAZ 535, a revolutionary heavy artillery tractor with an 8x8 formula, featuring a unique transmission design, torque converter, and a powerful V-shaped 12-cylinder diesel engine from the legendary tank V2. The hovercraft tank. In 1930, engineer V.I. Levikov, known for his hovercraft designs, embarked on creating the USSR's first tank. The Red Army sought versatile vehicles capable of navigating various terrains: hard ground, deep snow, water, or wetlands. Traditional tracked engines had a short service life, prompting the search for alternatives. Levikov, building on air-cushioned boat tests, initiated the amphibious approaching tank project in 1937. The tank's smooth, boat-like design featured an armored hull, rivetless and welded, reminiscent of Levikov's boats. Powered by two 9-cylinder aviation engines, it aimed to reach 120 kilometers per hour on an air cushion. Despite innovative controls and a turret-mounted 7.62mm tank gun, the military dismissed the project, deeming it lacking military value. This, along with similar failed projects, halted air cushion tank development in the USSR until the mid-20th century. Foreign projects in the 1930s faced similar fates, remaining unrealized on paper. Mil V-12. The largest American helicopter unveiled in 1971 paled in comparison to the colossal Soviet V-12 showcased at the Paris Air Show. Capable of carrying nearly 200 passengers and setting lifting power records, it vanished upon its return to the USSR. As a vital tool, helicopters revolutionized Soviet mobility, especially in remote, once inaccessible regions. Amidst Cold War tensions, the Soviets, facing the threat of discovered missile sites, sought an enormous helicopter to airlift heavy ballistic missiles discreetly. Designing the V-12 involved overcoming challenges with its unique half-helicopter, half-airplane appearance and transverse rotor arrangement. The helicopter broke records and appeared at the 1971 Paris Air Show, impressing but facing obsolescence due to evolving reconnaissance capabilities. By 1974, only 2 prototypes were built, and the V-12 program was abandoned in favor of a conventional heavy-lift helicopter. Mil Mi-32. In the early 80s, the Soviets clandestinely developed a colossal helicopter, the Mi-32, weighing a staggering 150 tons. This audacious flying triangle aimed to revolutionize aviation, capable of carrying diverse payloads. Conceived to conquer the remote regions of Siberia and enhance military capabilities, the Mi-32 was an ingenious solution to transport heavy items like generators and mining machinery to inaccessible areas. The unique triangular design, formed by 3 fuselage segments and powered by 6 Mi-26 engines, showcased Soviet engineering audacity. Despite ambitious plans for serial production and potential strategic use, the Mi-32 faced challenges, and with the changing political landscape in the USSR during the mid-80s, the project succumbed to cancellation. The audacious design, a distant cousin to the Antonov An-225, remains a fascinating but unrealized chapter in Soviet aviation history. VVP-6. Prepare to witness the Yakolev VVP-6, an audacious Soviet helicopter designed in the 60s to address the vastness of the USSR's territory and counter Western intrusion. Sporting an elongated shape of 49 meters, this behemoth accommodated a cockpit crewed by 2 or computerized with a square fuselage for versatile cargo capacity. Propelled by 24 turbofans activating 6 contra-rotors, it defied aerodynamic norms. It aimed to carry a staggering 45 to 50 tons, equipped with 6 nuclear-tipped surface-to-air missiles, capable of launching or bunkering down in remote locations. Not merely a flying SAM site, it envisioned roles from troop transport to serving as a base for VTOL Yak-38 fighter jets, resembling a real-life helicarrier. Though wind tunnel tests were conducted, the program faced challenges, leading to its shelving and remaining a surreal chapter in aviation history. Antonov An-14SH. A Soviet twin-engine light STOL utility transport, debuted in 1965, aiming for simplicity in construction, maintenance, and operation. Powered by 2 300 HP 9-cylinder radial engines, it intended to access remote areas with a crew of 2 and either 7 passengers or 600 kilograms of cargo. Initially designed to replace the An-2 Colt, it faced competition from its predecessor's proven capabilities. The experimental An-714, featuring air cushions, failed due to engine debris issues. A revamped design, the An-14SH, with a single large air cushion resembling a hovercraft, conducted successful trials from 1983 to 1986. However, limited payload and aerodynamic challenges led to the project's abandonment, marking the unconventional end of the AN-14SH and hovercraft-aircraft hybrids. Typhoon-class submarine. With a length of 574 feet, a displacement of 48,000 tons, powered by 2 nuclear reactors, and armed with continent-destroying weapons, the Typhoon-class submarines emerged as Soviet Navy icons during the Cold War. Originating in the late 1960s, the nuclear parity led both the USA and USSR to enhance missile systems. The Typhoon, equipped with the R-39 missile, showcased innovation with its catamaran-like design, incorporating 2 titanium pressure hulls. Despite being dubbed floating hotels, these submarines featured advanced amenities. Their strategic role, carrying up to 20 ballistic missiles with 10 warheads each, emphasized deterrence. Operating from 1981, Typhoons left an indelible mark on naval history, symbolizing Cold War might, though their retirement looms, yielding to more modern successors like the Bory class. Ushakov's flying submarine. World War II marked an era of remarkable aviation innovation, where pre-conflict militaries pursued cutting-edge concepts. Among these was the unconventional idea of a flying submarine, aiming to combine submersible stealth with aircraft speed. Envisioned by engineer Boris Ushakov during his studies at the Naval Engineering Institute in Russia, this concept involved submerging underwater through floodable compartments. The cockpit itself was one of these compartments, necessitating the crew to move behind it when submerged. Although initially intriguing, the project faced challenges due to its impractical complexity. The flying submarine aimed to serve as an infiltrator, gaining naval superiority by spotting, flying ahead, submerging, and striking ships with torpedoes, offering a unique approach to maritime warfare. Remember, even the craziest ideas can spark innovation, even if they leave scorch marks on the pavement. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, keep dreaming big, keep tinkering wild, and never underestimate the power of a little vodka-fueled engineering.